remember the day we found it. The wreckage of SCP-2002 scattered across the desert sands, glinting under the relentless Saudi sun. I was part of the recovery team, tasked with collecting whatever we could and ensuring that no one outside of our organization learned what had happened. When we arrived at the site, the air felt electric. The sheer size of the main hull was overwhelming. 450 meters of twisted metal, surrounded by smaller spheres, each one about 1.7 meters in diameter. They looked like something out of a science fiction novel. I remember thinking, how did something like this end up here? As we began the recovery, the unease settled in. The automated broadcast from SCP-2002 echoed in my mind. The voice of Dr. Agnes Yuntz resonated with an eerie calm as she described their mission, their crew, and the embryos they were transporting. It was a desperate attempt to escape something catastrophic, something we couldn't fully understand. Our ETA is currently set at, she stated before the signal broke. It was chilling. We worked tirelessly, loading debris onto our transports. The remains we found were horrific. 5 adult males, hundreds of newborns. How could this be? I was overwhelmed by the thought of their lives, the stories cut short. The implications of what we had discovered weighed heavily on me. And then there was the Global Occult Coalition. Their involvement was a constant shadow lurking over us. We had uncovered their attempt to neutralize SCP-2002 before we could even comprehend its purpose. Their satellite had fired indiscriminately, breaking apart the vessel, sending its smaller nodes spiraling into the unknown. We had narrowly avoided a catastrophe. But at what cost? I still have nightmares about the day we recovered that wreckage. The faces of the dead haunt me. They were once people, with hopes and dreams just like us. Now they were nothing but data points in a containment report. I remember the frantic whispers among my colleagues, speculating about the GOC's motives. Was it fear? Was it envy? We were left to wonder why they would take such drastic action without fully understanding the threat. As we sifted through the debris, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were all part of a much larger game, one where the rules were hidden from us. Now, as I sit in my quarters at Site-102, I can't help but think about the ramifications of our findings. SCP-2002 was classified as neutralized, but we all knew that the truth was far more complicated. The procedures to keep this quiet, to continue the misinformation campaigns, they felt like shackles. I sometimes hear the whispers of the crew who perished, their stories intertwining with mine. We're all complicit in this, whether we like it or not. I can only hope that their sacrifice won't be in vain, that we can learn from this wreckage, and maybe, just maybe, prevent something like it from happening again. But deep down, I wonder if we truly have a grasp on the forces we're dealing with. The universe has its secrets, and we are but mere players on its stage. I can still hear Dr. Yunt's final warning echoing in my mind. Warning, temporal dislocation error detected. What did she know? What did we miss? I shudder at the thought, knowing that the answers lie buried in the sands of the desert, alongside the remains of SCP-2002.